G'day everyone, Paul Stoner, Biggin and Scott, CEO, me, you, there's Brett.
How you going? How good was the Peking duck yesterday?
Unbelievable.
Told you it was
We
going
had
to
our
be good.
first Christmas party for the year. And it was,
It
it
felt,
was
yeah,
very nice.
Christmas in November, anyhow. It's good.
Yeah. So, well, it's the middle of November. You haven't been to the table for a month now, and there's all this negativity in the market. What's happening?
Well, hey,
Let's
I'll
get
tell
it
you
from the
what,
horse's mouth.
the good thing you get out of meeting with the other agents, so I think there was, 12 of us in there, was
Yep.
how well we're actually doing.
Yes.
You know, I know some of the agencies, even though they're keeping their head above water and they're doing fine and they're doing business, they're offloading staff, and
Yep.
sales are definitely down in some areas.
Yeah.
But this is a time to grow market share, isn't it? And I'm proud to say that we have, and we're actually 5 sales up for this time than we were last year. Can you believe
It's
that?
amazing.
Commissions are down because we're obviously more apartments, but 5 more sales.
So the stats that the guys from Domain were talking about yesterday, and I did in today's newsletter, was the amount of properties that may not be selling at auction, but they're selling within a week of the auction.
Correct.
It's not a stat that anybody reports.
That's right. The auctions are no longer spectacular, are they?
No.
But these clearance rates that they always talk about don't take into considerations ones that sell week 1, week 2 of the campaign. We sold a property yesterday that's not going to auction for 2 more weeks, and we've got a good price, and we've sold it beforehand.
Yeah.
But a lot of them sell after auction, and a lot of them we withdraw the week before the auction because our interested parties can't get their pre-approvals, so we might sell them 7 or 14 days subject to finance, and they'll still go through.
Yeah.
So the brokers give us confidence that the finance will happen. It's just that the banks haven't got all their ducks lined up, so they don't give the approval.
Yeah, so the banks won't approve you bidding to a certain price on auction, basically.
Those days are sort of gone, particularly for the first home buyers, because they not only want to make sure that you can afford the loans and that your expenditure is what you're saying it is, they also want to know that you're buying a property that's worth the price.
Yeah. So if you're a buyer and you've stumbled across this video, the other thing that is alive and well is solid offers prior to auction.
Yep. And they will be well received.
Yeah.
Particularly for apartments in the first home buyer market, we will consider, providing we get access to your broker and have a chat to them, subject to finance before auction, if the offer's strong enough.
Yeah, and don't enter this market believing that properties are so overpriced that you need to go low, but the properties are in line with the market conditions. This has been happening for a while now, so they are in line with it. You've just got to work out that finance side of things. That would be the major hiccup at the moment, I would say.
I feel that we've reached that maybe the bottom of the barrel. On the basis that stock levels are going to be harder to find next year, and it's the old supply and demand. If there's no stock, prices will start to sort of creep up again. And the other unforeseen consequences of pushing out investors out of the marketplace, I've been harping on about this, we're leasing a bucket load. Our vacancy rates,
very low.
They're non-existent, Paul. And all those stats we just showed here, look at this. We leased 92 properties in October.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
That's just magnificent. We also ticked over the 2,000...
2,500.
2,500. We've got well done, girls.
Yeah,
but
management.
I got a feeling, because this is pre the busy season. We did 92.
Mm-hmm.
Busy season's just after Christmas, and maybe even December a little bit. Rents, I feel, are going to go through the roof.
Yeah, it's amazing. So let's get down to what this video is about. What have you changed in the last month, quarter, whatever? But understanding what we've just been talking about, that they may pass in, and you've got to stay close to the buyers because they'll be dealing with the finance company.
The catch cry in our office is hustle.
Yep.
You've got to chase your buyers, you've got to look after your buyers, you've got to love your buyers, you've got to get your buyers to the properties, you've got to listen to what the buyers have to say, what their circumstances is, and make sure it fits in, get that jigsaw piece fitting into the puzzle with the vendor, and you'll get the deals.
Yeah. Yep.
And, we did 29 last month. We just fell one behind one a day, but for that month. But we're on par for one a day this month because we're hustling.
Yeah. So recognise that the auction circumstances may not fit with what the buyer needs to do, and just work it out.
Ed rang me at about 9 o'clock last night just to point out he's going to his last appointment now at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think he got home around 10 o'clock, so love to Jackie and the kids. Sorry about that. He's got holidays coming up. But that's what you've got to do in this market.
Yeah.
Hustle, get the deals together. And the vendors will, see sense in...
Yeah, well, it's just changed. People aren't doing it on the day. They're waiting a bit longer.
Correct. Or, as we did with Michelle the other day, we get it on the day. The buyers are there.
So have you changed internal training or anything like that?
Just talking a lot more about getting the deals done, how to get the deals done, how to hustle.
Yep.
And, all due respect to our younger salespeople, we're getting hands-on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're having to... make sure the deals go through us and we're talking to the buyers, as Ed was driving around to...
So they're longer conversations, they're more detailed conversations, and there's a lot of education going on because we're actually learning how the finance companies are dealing with all of this.
Correct. And look, there's a lot more of the conversations too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phone calls being made.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep chasing. And just because a buyer doesn't ring you back doesn't mean they're not interested. They may not know what to say to us because they haven't got their ducks in line, as I said before. So get hold of that buyer. They'll ring you back ultimately, or you'll get hold of them.
Yeah.
And there may be simple reasons why their interest isn't coming through, and it could be as simple as the banks haven't got back to them, even though they've promised them the finance. Yeah. And then there's a subject to finance deal waiting to be had.
Yep. So the team's doing really well.
Yep.
If you've just come into the industry in the last 2 years, you're probably not quite sure about the conversations to have in this market, which be interesting. You can't do it all over the phone. These are face-to-face meetings that you have to have because they're...
Yeah, correct. And I look at and that coming into the industry. The way to come into this industry now is to come into a team, an experienced team with a good leader at the top, and learn from the bottom. Don't think you're going to be able to. Just because you love property doesn't mean you're going to make a good real estate agent. Yeah. It's about negotiation. It's about keeping everybody excited and happy and the deal focused. So.
Yeah. Love is a big word, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what?
Do you love the negotiation?
Do I ever? Ask Michelle on the weekend. I think I went backwards and forwards, wore out a pair of shoes. Yeah. I think there was 20 trips backwards and forwards before we did the deal, and I know it's not a spectacular. Personally, love the hustle.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's terrific. The results are great. So you've sold more this year than you did sometime last year.
Yes,
which is a great thing. It means so activity levels are high and everything's it's changed a little bit.
And since May till now, we're more than one a day deals, which is a lot for us.
We spent a bit of time on this yesterday. You've already listed a lot for... mid-December, which will be the 15th, is it? 15th
yes, it's a fast run home, a busy run home. It's terrific. I'm not sure about next year. Most people are saying, bugger it, we've got to do it this year.
Yeah.
Not sure how February is looking. We do have a few lined up for the end of Feb, but people are going to get in this side of Christmas.
But overwhelmingly, don't wait for something to happen. You've got to hustle in this market. You've got to make things happen. You've got to realise that you need to have lots of in-depth conversations.
Yep.
If you're not prepared to do that, you will struggle because stock levels, we believe, will be fairly low in the new year.
We've got all the stuff earpods. You know those wireless earpods? Yep. Because they're ringing straight off Boxing Dice, straight out to the vendors, the buyers, and keep chasing. And they do it, and they're walking around the office, so they're not sitting at their desk. Yep. They're just running around. Come to our office. They've all got the pods in their ears, chasing buyers off their mobile phone, straight off the database. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they're getting hold of these people, and they're not giving up.
Yeah, there's a little key for you. Anything else you'd like to share before we close off?
No, earpods. Love them. AirPods.
Great job, all the team at Richmond.
Well done, guys.
Fantastic.
And of course, property management. Congratulations getting over that 2,500 rental properties and huge amount of leasing last month.
And it's always, if you want to drop into Richmond, see what they're doing. Russell loves showing people around.
Yeah, look, hey, it's about an hour and a half tour
for a couple of hours.
An hour and a half, 2 hours if you come and see my office. I don't shut up. I don't come up for water.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers, mate.
Biggin, duck.
Yeah, very nice.